the Private Employment Promotion (JIZ) project and co-funded by the European Union and the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development (BMZ). At Iraqi Innovators, we are on a mission to increase women's involvement in the tech sector, upskill job seekers, and change the international narrative about Iraq. And so, if you are watching this session, you are contributing to our mission, and we are extremely delighted to have each one of you. For those who are new here, FLF is a live chat with industry experts about funding, tech, and entrepreneurship scene in Iraq. In the last 20 minutes of the chats, we open to the audience to ask questions to our guests directly. So make sure to post your questions in the comments and we will get them answered. This month, we are discussing what are the biggest challenges faced by Iraqi freelancers. What are the tools that can help you to be a freelancer, and what could be a few possible solutions about payment options, and much more with our guest for tonight, Anas Rajab, who is a professional freelancer himself. Welcome, Anas.
Thank you, and hi everyone. Thank you for having me on this live chat. My name is Anas Rajab. I'm a freelance motion graphics designer. I have an experience for more than 8 years. Although my educational background is totally different, I have BA degree in English language and literature, and I did my master's degree in educational technology. Actually, I started my freelance job in 2016 and as a designer, and now I'm working as a 3D motion graphics designer.
Thank you.
Yes,
We're delighted to have you.
thank you.
Uh, Now that you have told us about yourself, let's get right
Okay,
to the questions.
okay,
So I would start first with a definition. What is
okay.
online freelancing?
Okay, so I'll make it easy for you. Now we have anyone who does his or her let's say university degree will go to get a job in the private or governmental sector. Now the freelance is totally the opposite of the regular job. You are free. It's called a freelancer. You are free, so you work and get paid by the task you do. So no wake in the morning to go to the, let's say, to your job to have 8 hours per day to get fingerprint. No, to get stable salary maybe. No, you do your task by you get money or sorry get paid by a task, by any task you do.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm curious about your experience as a freelancer. What
Okay.
is your experience as a freelancer?
Okay, so as I told you, my educational background was different, so the design was like a hobby for me. I started doing some Photoshop works like editing photos. You remember that area, editing some photos for my friends, for relatives, sometimes with money, sometimes without money. So in 2014, after getting a good skills in design, I got a job in Samara TV. So I started to work with as a fresh designer with a very simple salary. So the target behind this is to explore much more about design, to see the world of the design. After 2 years of experience at Samara TV, I started my first job as a freelance. Actually, to be honest with you, this inspired me to start my freelance because the money that time I took from my first client was so much compared with my simple salary. So this was a good inspiration to start my freelance work in 2016, and I started to develop my skills day after day, and now it's good to have many clients, work with many clients, many companies, uh, maybe in different fields, not only a design. The design it is a general term. So now it's good to cover many aspects or let's say features of design.
That's great. And I also totally agree. Yes, sometimes, at the start, we have to do gigs that are without payment, but when we are learning something, it's you need some experience, either being paid or not, to learn the thing firsthand on.
Yeah.
So, as a experienced freelancer and successful one yourself, uh, what do you think the skills are needed to be a successful online freelancer?
Well, there are many skills, but the main skill is you have to master your skills in the field. Maybe a freelance, it is general. Maybe you are a designer, a teacher, a private teacher, maybe script writer, programmer. Anything is related to this field. So you have to master your job. So without mastering your job, clients will not come to work with you. Second, which is I consider the main important point, is the time management. There must be a time commitment. It's very important to make clients feel comfortable and trust you in terms of time. So if you let's say if you say it's going to be on Thursday 7 p.m., it must be on Thursday 7 p.m. The time is the most important thing when we deal not in freelance but in our daily life. And the master of marketing, I call the master of marketing, how to promote yourself. Now let us say I'm a professional designer. Who knows me if I'm not promoting myself, if I don't have the negotiation skills with the clients, how to convince the clients to work with me? So what makes the clients come to work with Anas, to come to work with other freelancers? So you have to promote, to have a good marketing skills to attract clients to come to work with you.
I totally agree. Promotion is really key when it comes to freelancing,
Yes.
because you are the person who is in charge, and if you don't promote yourself, then nobody would know about you if you have the best skill that is. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of being a freelancer?
Uh, well, I worked as a in a regular job, and I work as a freelance. So the first thing is you are free. You are free to go to work, to do your work. So this is the most important aspect. You are free to work. Second, you may get more income. In the irregular job, you get a stable and a specific salary. You will not expect much more from the regular job. So in a freelance, no, you can get a bigger projects, do your best in such projects, you will get a good income. Um, it Freelance gives you an inspire to promote, to develop your skills. For example, now you are, let's say, let's not senior, but say at medium stage of designing or freelancing. This is an inspire to develop your skills to get more income. A regular job, you will not get that inspire because your salary will stay as it is, maybe a little bit addition for your salary, a little bit increase for your salary. For the freelance, no, you always have the inspire to promote your job, to do it in a good way. A future business, the freelance will open to you a future business. Now, for me, I'm planning to open a company. If I work in a job, I would not think of any company. Now I'm thinking to open a company because now I have the skills, I have the platform, the space, everything to thinking of a future work. Now, this is about the advantages. Let us say about the disadvantages. In my opinion, and for some people, it is risky because there is no stable salary at the end of the month. A regular job, you get salary every month, and that's it. You feel comfortable. This is for many people. For me, not. I don't consider it as a disadvantage. So it is. There is no stable salary. Maybe you not enough clients to get you paid. Uh, Second thing, as I told you, the stability. The freelance, for me, sometimes some months I get good income, some months I will not get good incomes. Like it depends on the situation, the clients, the yani many other reasons. Yes.
Yep. I agree. I mean, in my opinion, one of the advantages, just like you have talked about, being a freelancer is you being your own boss, first of all, and
Yes.
you're always in a competitive market, so you always have to try to be better than the other one, so that you get more
Yes.
business than your competitors. And one other disadvantage that, beside the not consistent income, which some people, I would love to have your thought on this, can start as a part-time freelancer, not a
Yes.
full-time one. So they can have a part-time job as well on the side, and that could cover up their monthly expenses. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, working as a part-time freelancer.
Yeah, so if for people
Yes,
who
as a
are,
start, it
they're thinking
depends.
about, oh.
Yeah, it depends. It
Mm,
depends on the person, maybe his or her status. I don't know. But if you, as a start, he or she has to work as a part time or maybe a regular job. Maybe a regular job. My start, I worked as a regular job, and within the regular job, when I comes back home, I work as a freelancer because I want to get used to it. The first days, maybe first year, let's say, as a freelancer is a little bit difficult. It is a new world, new way. Not every people like you. It is very unique, especially in our society. In the Iraqi society, it's very unique to work as a freelancer. Because all people look you, hey, you don't have a job. How do you spend money? How do you do what to do for a living? So you can start a regular job, part-time job within the freelance, and later on get used to it. You feel yourself it's okay now to switch totally for freelance. Okay, then do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And in my opinion, another disadvantage would be, for some people, not everyone. Some people uh, don't have the ability to self control or have a good time management. And when they are not in a fixed hour, they would tend to procrastinate. So,
Mm,
if I go to my next question, would
mm.
be, one of the biggest struggles as an online freelancer in Iraq is getting paid. There is no PayPal available, or other methods like bank transfers are very
Yes.
complicated.
Mm.
So, how do you get paid for your projects?
Actually, it is difficult, to be honest. It is difficult because we don't, as you said, we don't have PayPal, which is the most important feature, I call it, and now worldwide. Actually, I invent ways to get paid. I always invent ways. I should not stop because this is my job. I have to find a way to get paid. For me, there are many ways. Depends on the person, depends on the amount of money. We have, in Iraq, we have, let's say, the call it e-wallets, like Asi Hawala, Zencash, something like this. Sometimes with regular Hawala, some marks, some transfers allow to, let's say, a small transfer, like less than 10, I think $10,000 per day. So they allow these amount of money. What else do we have? Sometimes this is a story. I have a friend, I have a client in the UAE. He couldn't pay for me in a regular way, so I had to invent a way to get paid. I called my friend. He was in the UAE. I told him to go to that person and take the money. When he comes back to Iraq, he brings the money with him. So you have to invent way. I cannot tell you there are many ways. As I told you, it depends on the person, the amount of money, but you have always to invent the ways of payment. Yes.
Yeah, I totally.
Your voice. Let's check out. I can't hear you. I think you have muted the mic.
Can you hear
Yes,
me now?
yes, yeah. Now it's okay. No, get away again. I can't hear you again.
What
Yes,
about
now it's okay.
now?
Okay. No.
One other issue is internet connection in
Okay,
Iraq
sure.
as an online freelancer. Yeah. What other payment options do Iraqis have? Are there other payment options besides the ones you talked about, or that's it?
Yeah, they use simple way of transferring money, like credit balance, mobile balance credit transfer. They can use cards, scratch the cards and take photograph for, and then or transfer the cards itself for another mobile number. Maybe key card now is blooming. A key card for every employee in Iraq, he has a key card. He or she can transfer money, but I think there is a limit for this. Maybe 2 million dinars per month, per day. I'm not sure about it because it is new. The Iraqis still don't get used to it.
Yeah. So my next question is, what are the other obstacles beside payment options of being a freelancer in Iraq, and how can we overcome them?
Uh, the main obstacle is the stereotype, the mentality. This you will ask me how the stereotype about freelancing, about the freelancers. Now, if you want to do, if you have a company, let us say you have a company and you want to do something, let us say design, branding, a logo for your company. Uh, Always, especially the professionals, will not go to freelancers. We will go to the companies, the production companies, the graphic design companies to do such jobs. So they trust, it is a matter of trust. They trust the companies much more than freelancers. And this is actually a bigger problem for me, especially for me. So they have the ability to pay much more money for the company, for the other companies, and it's in terms of to avoid the freelancers. How to avoid such a stereotype or mentality of people? To prove yourself. This is what I'm talking about. You prove, you have to master skills, prove yourself. And the thing that I talked about, the brand awareness, the how to promote yourself in a good way, how to prove for people that you have the good ability to product a stuff, a production which is much more, which is much better than the production of any other companies. So it is, let us say, it is a struggle. It is a challenge for us as a freelancers to prove ourselves that we can do anything. We can do anything in terms of our field.
Yes, thank you. Which websites do you use to get work, and how do you stand out from the crowd?
For me personally,
Yeah.
personally, for me, I get used to deal with Behance as a designer. I'm talking about as a designer. Maybe programmer will going to use another website, but for me, I use LinkedIn and Behance. But now I have to switch, not to switch, but also add social media platforms, because the social media platforms are blooming now. But maybe you ask me, why don't use the social media? Because the professional people, the big companies uh, in Iraq originally deal with freelancers who post their stuff on Behance or LinkedIn. Will not look for freelancers on social media. But let's say today I see some switch, let's say for the social media. So I have to switch maybe 1 month later you will see me on social media, because you have, as I told you, you have to develop your skills and develop your marketing skills. I have to be promoted on social media as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Social media are the way to get noticed. But your professional websites like Behance are the place where you can showcase your work as a professionally and get clients from.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. Uh, what is the best way to get clients locally and internationally?
Locally and internationally. Let's say locally for Iraqis, we have to use the social media. Socially, because the Iraqi people get used, are familiar, sorry, are familiar with the social media platforms. So I have to use, let's say, Facebook, Instagram, maybe now the uploading platform, which is Snapchat, getting some shots from your work and promote it, but with a promotion, of course. For internationally, as I told you, Behance, LinkedIn, Pinterest, there are many websites that you can promote your work. And of course, I remember, I just got this. There are any freelance.com and international. I'm talking internationally. Forsa, it is a Arabic platform. They can get you paid, but still, when you deal with such platforms, you must have PayPal at least. This is the problem we are facing now, and freelancers have to find a solution or alternative for PayPal to get paid.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems when it comes to uh, on international clients where you don't have PayPal, you don't have Stripe. So websites like Upwork, Fiverr are not letting you in. And as Iraqi banks we have here, getting paid from internationally is really hard. You know, just like you said, I've seen people, just use iTunes cards. They have their own website. They promote when they get client. They're like, okay, send me iTunes cards, and they
Mm,
convert it here. And
mm, mm.
that's a way where people can try and get payment options, which is really really hard. Even we I personally have talked with other influencers about it, international influencers. They're like, you can try and have second payment services that there are, but I have looked at it. Still, there is not really anyone that can do it in that scale. So it is hard for us internationally, but like you said, you have to invent it.
Yeah.
My last question would be, what online tools do you recommend that Iraqi freelancers should use and why?
Mm. Uh, yeah, I remember you asked me about what are the skills that freelancers want to acquire to be a successful freelancers. So I told you about time management, how to schedule your time, how to manage your time. So the time management, there are many tools, maybe apps the freelancers can use to schedule their table. Let's say, for me, I use an app called. You can use, maybe there are many tons of alternatives apps. You can use any one of them. But for me, at least, I use Todoist. I can, for example, I have a task tomorrow. I have to submit it, let's say, on 1 month later. I submit it on Todoist, and I put a reminder every day, every 2 days. This is for time management. For any freelancer must use. I recommend this tool, Milanote. Mila, it's called Milanote with the black dark logo. It is to organize your ideas, whether you are a designer, script writer, anything programmer, anything this helps you to organize your ideas. organize your even your time. So it is very easy tool, very flexible tool, help you, will speed up your work, of course. Yes,
Okay, thank you. And
you're welcome.
everyone, I think they don't have questions so far because you explained it really well, and I thank you for that. But
You're welcome.
a lot of people, some people have commented really nice thing, and we thank them for listening, and everyone else that is watching right now. We hope you learned, and you can, if you haven't watched all the live, you can watch it on YouTube. We will have it after the live as a video on YouTube, and you can watch it there. And thank you, Mr. Ennis, for being with us tonight
You're
and
welcome.
for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
evening.
Good evening. Goodbye.